And GMs, like Kelly, are not accessible. You could never walk in his office and say, I'm really disgusted. I don't like the offensive line. I don't like what you're doing. And he would never listen to that. Never. That's why he got rid of all those guys.
Yeah, I could see it definitely being a very system-oriented situation instead of a human-oriented system with Chip Kelly.
Very much so. Very much so.
We really appreciate you ladies both giving us your time. And Marnie Schneider, we are so grateful to have you. And if anybody wants to go look at some of her writing, it's available on jockjournal.com. You just go there, and she's got lots of different articles available. We're going to throw a couple of those up to Facebook because we got about 45 texts since you've been on with all kinds of people just loving both of you to death. So we want to thank you so much for being with us today and answering our questions. And your candor is absolutely off the charts. So thank you so much for the honest responses that you've given us.
Well, and that's, most people don't tell the truth.
Eagles.
Yeah. They're still our Eagles, Maren. Don't worry about it.
They are. I mean, there are, ultimately it's like this is our we, are not the owners, but we care about the city and we want the city to have a winning team and we love the Eagles. And, my grandfather and my mother made tremendous sacrifices, both, certainly personal and financial, so that the Eagles remained in Philadelphia because in 1984, the Eagles were one signature away from leaving Philadelphia and moving to Phoenix before my grandfather passed that deal on to Phoenix, on to the Cardinals in St. Louis. So without my grandfather having the manliness and the respect of the city of Philadelphia and the fans, and my mother being his confidant and his advisor, the Eagles would be the Phoenix Eagles, not the Philadelphia Eagles. And so that's something that a lot of people don't understand that or haven't had the history lesson in Philadelphia Eagle history. But my grandfather's personal sacrifices, along with my mother, and are the reason why the Eagles are still in Philadelphia. So we're very passionate about, obviously the organization and getting a winning team and, having the Eagles, win a Super Bowl, because that is a great thing for the fans to have. And my grandfather certainly made a lot of sacrifices, as did my mom, for the Eagles to remain in Philadelphia and become, and be winners. And the city of Philly is it's a great city. I love Philadelphia. It's my hometown. I don't live there, but it's my hometown. So I care about Philadelphia.
Well, I looked at it from a different perspective. When you're working for a team and that fans want to, wring your neck if you don't win the game, it's always the GM's problem. And it always was mine, and that's okay because I understood where I was standing and what I was doing. And you get a very hard shell and you just look at it, and I kind of laugh. It wasn't about me. It was really just about the outcome. And Philly is very, very tough and a very smart sports audience. So you better be prepared. And I think they kind of ran Chip out of town.
It's true. I'm kind of glad. I'm glad it's happened that way. I'm the owner, so I'm going to say skip the break for a little bit, and we're just going to continue moving on through this. I am curious, and before this interview, I decided to go to the internet, and I tried to find somewhere where I could find women related to football. And as far as like a GM position, I understand I can't find any other woman who's ever been a GM for a major NFL team that at least I could find, except for Cameron Diaz in Any Given Sunday showed up, but that's a fictional character.
Exactly. Right. I'm gonna brag about my mother right now for a minute. My mom is the only female to ever hold the position of general manager, and you know what? That is incredible. I mean, it's really it's an amazing feat when you think about it, because women really are great leaders, and my mother certainly is a pioneer and a trailblazer. But the fact is, there are no other females that have ever been a general manager of a professional football team. And I don't even think, there's been any females that have been GMs of any other professional team. But I will tell you this, that as a GM, my mom has, she had impeccable taste. And I think that that's why she was able to eyeball such great talent like Randall Cunningham, and also make deals for talent that was within the team and keep them there. And they wanted to play for Philadelphia because, my mom was there and my grandfather, and she's the only person that's ever held that position, and she certainly did not.
What was interesting is that most of our scouts, they never looked at the human being. They only looked at their stats. How tall are they? How big are they? What's their arm strength? How big are their hands? How big are their feet? How do their feet move? none of that really matters. What really matters is where's their heart.
Yes.
Do they have their heart in it? Are they disciplined? Will they be loyal because they really care about the coach and the people that are around them? And that's never practiced. No one even asks the questions. When I have to interview them because I have to do the contracts, I learn a lot about them, and I learn a lot about who their reps are, who their agents. And some of their agents are just trying to fleece them. And when they'd leave the room, I'd say, this is off the record, and I'll probably get fired. But you don't need that agent. That agent is just trying to screw you. So you just got to think about it. And they were all relatives. They were uncles. They were aunts. They were lawyers.
No.
They were all latches on. So, I a lot of that, I just felt like I had to tell them or give them a hint. And when Randall's information showed up, because he had to take all the tests like everybody else did, and that was our last year there, and he was selected by every one of the coaches on the staff to select Randall Cunningham. And if you looked at his record and you looked at all of the things that he was able to do compared to every other athlete that was a quarterback, you couldn't match it. And Randall Cunningham lives in Las Vegas, and I talk to him once in a while, but he's a very shy guy, and I knew it from the beginning, so I never asked him to go or do anything for me. I just say, call me if you need me, if you need, if your team's, he's a coach at Silverado, another poor school, if you need some help, call me, and I'll help you. So I called him one day, and I said, I have a funny story to tell you that I couldn't tell you when you were with the Eagles. I said, I looked at your IQ rate. You were off the chart. There wasn't any player in the history of the Eagles as a quarterback whose IQ went off the chart.
Yeah, he's a very
and
intelligent
so,
man.
although he didn't appear to be brilliant, he is brilliant. And he was able to figure out what was going on the field with that football knowledge, and that's really critical. A lot of players can be talented, but if they can't read the plays or have an instinct of what's going on, they're not going to be very good, even if they're great athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that a lot today. And so I said to Randall, when I looked at your records, you had the highest high jump in the history of the NFL. And he started to laugh. And I said, all right, what's funny? He said, my son just beat my record.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he just beat my record. And he jumped higher than I did, and his broad jump was broader than mine. And he said, I thought I was the greatest. He's the greatest.
Oh, wow.
But he's not a football player. He tried to be a football player, but he didn't have good arm movement, and his shoulders weren't right, and his approach to the ball wasn't right. He couldn't make the spin right. And that's Gorman, which is they compete all over the country for a high school. And they gave him the chance, but he just did not have the skill set, the fundamentals. So he's now track and field. He'll probably be in the Olympics.
Wow. Fantastic.
And his sister's the same way.
And you're right about Randall Cunningham. When you really dissect him as a quarterback, he was really before his time. There's
way before.
Nowadays, you got good moving, scrambling quarterbacks who are capable of having a really good, strong arm, throwing the ball downfield. There's plenty of them. That Kaepernick, Russell Wilson, even Andrew Luck has that ability. There's tons of them. Even RG3. All these guys today are they're learning just now how to use players like that. And
that's true.
You were like at a point where you had a 5-tool quarterback who was never in a system that was ever able to use all those tools at once because there wasn't a system developed at that point. And it was actually amazing to watch him play, and you had an amazing eye for talent when you brought him aboard.
Well, if you wanted to interview him and say, is he a real congenial guy? Is he a guy that he'll go, yes, no, and he still does. I said, Randall, you never loosened up. You need to loosen up. And he laughs. He's a sweet guy, but he's very shy. And it's not that he's not nice. It's just that he's very shy. And interestingly, when he was in a pinch, he could punt the ball. He could kick the ball.
Yes. He still has the
and
third
he did that
longest.
At UNLV.
He still has the third longest punt in NFL history of 92 yards.
Yeah. I mean, and he had every possible skill you could have. And he was the perfect football prototype if you could find one, because he was tall, He could run fast. He was extremely athletic. He could jump high. He could jump low. He had very long arms and big hands. He was one that you'd want to just clone across the country.
Yes. He could. He literally could play almost any position.
Without a doubt. And he was on the same team as Dante Culpepper at one point in time.
Yes, with the Vikings.
And Randall, and Randall kind of was really better than he was.
Much.
Even though Dante was successful earlier, but they really weren't rivals. They the Randall was a better athlete. That's all.
Yeah, and it's ironic you actually brought
athlete.
that up because the Carolina Panthers were 14-0. Randall Cunningham with the Minnesota Vikings was 14-0. They both lost at that one point right there, that 14-1 point. We were talking about that last night. Actually, believe it or not, we were mentioning Randall Cunningham after all these years. It has been a real blessing to have you, and we thank you so much for giving us your time. But if I don't pay the bills with these sponsors and get these advertisings going, they are going to kill me.
Right. But if we pick up a dud for a new head coach, I'll be on the phone with you. Don't worry about it.
Hey, I would love that, and thank you so much. And we'll be in touch.
Our pleasure.
And we appreciate it, and we hope that you have the happiest of New Year's.
Thank you very
Great.
much.
Thank you so
Good
much.
luck with your company.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay.
All right,
Bye-bye.
go Philly, go Eagles.
Go
Okay.
Eagles.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Exactly. All right, bye.
Okay, guys, so you have it. That was
that was gold.
That was beautiful. That was super excellent. That was Susan Tost Spencer, formerly Schneider, of the Philadelphia Eagles, and Marnie Schneider of JockJournal.com, also of her charity, which is, if I remember, Keep On Playing. So just go ahead and take a look at that. You can find her on Facebook. That charity is to get kids out, just basically playing and enjoying fun and having fun with other things. But with that, it's time to get to break. We got to pay the bills. We'll catch you back in just a few minutes.
Finally, can we take a moment and stop listening to these idiots long enough to get the Cars for Kids jungle stuck in my head?
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Also on the web at carsforkids.com. That's Cars with a K. We're a recognized 501c3 charity organization, so you'll receive a maximum tax deduction. What's more, you'll receive a free vacation voucher of 3 days and 2 nights.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Are you looking for the web's best sports news? Visit JockJournal.com. Sports media has lost its touch. It seems that journalists are scared to report what they see, in fear of losing access to the teams they cover. At JockJournal.com, you get inside information on the entire NFL community without all the politics or fears other writers have. That's JockJournal.com. When you need the NFL sports news, information, opinions, fantasy football, or discussions, there is only one place to go, and it's JockJournal.com.
How would you love to generate a great income from the comfort of your home? Well, now you can. This amazing money-making home-based business is designed to give you time and freedom. Would your life change if you made $10,000 within 21 days and $20,000 plus every month thereafter? Sounds amazing, right? Anyone can do it, even you. Call 800-704-8681 and let their expert staff tell you all about this brand new business opportunity. Why wait? You have nothing to lose. We have the tools, training, resources, and community to help anyone get on the fast track to success. Call 800-704-8681. That's 800-704-8681. It's the easiest, most powerful home-based money-making system on the web. Call today and change